Yo, SojuTalk Nation! On this week's episode, we'll be covering Fuego releases from VeriVery and Ong Seong Wu. We'll also be cooking up some spicy news coverage, including EXO Chen's marriage and fiancée's pregnancy, BTS announces comeback and Big Hit acquires Pledis, Daisy vs MLD Entertainment, and Dispatch details about X1's disbandment. So prepare your body, check your hydration, because it's gonna be another marathon today. Hit me with that intro. Hey, what's up everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 69, and we're recording on Monday, January 13th, 2020. I'm Doug, and joining me today we got Warren.
Hey, what's up everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
And as a quick weekly reminder, leave us feedback, questions, or hot takes at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the SojuTalk YouTube channel, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the SojuTalk Nation. Links down below. Okay, and before we even do announcements,
Okay.
I had the script. We have a script. Number
Yeah,
one, maybe
sure.
that's an announcement. We have a script with some keynotes, some things we're going to cover. I send Warren and Anita like Spark Notes version of the script sometime during Sunday every day.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to them like midday yesterday. I was expecting nothing crazy to happen. Two ginormous things broke during the day, ruined the script. I spent like an hour and a half this morning fixing it. We good now, but this is going to be another long episode, so get ready, everyone. But now let's get to actual announcements. So first of all, the Red Velvet Zico giveaway. The winner on YouTube is Maggie T. You have won the Red Velvet Zico giveaway here on YouTube. You have 1 week to contact us to claim your prize. Please contact us and send us your name/shipping info on Discord, Instagram, or at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. If we are not contacted by next week's episode, we will be giving out the album to someone on Discord. So congratulations, Maggie T.
Congratulations, Maggie T.
The winner on Discord was already announced there, so you should know who you are at this point. Also, okay, if you see here, I have a random Twice sticker on my wall.
Oh wow.
That's not up here. Where did I get this sticker? So that is a segue into the fact that we have a new segment on YouTube called Doug's Collection. Well, Doug's K-pop collection, where I'm gonna do random openings, go over my K-pop collection, that sort of stuff. The first one I opened up Twice as Fancy, and I showed everyone what came with it. It's on YouTube, so go check that out as well. Okay, we're ready now. We're good. Anyone got announcements?
No.
Yeah, no. It's
Okay.
fine. No new announcements. We're done. Let's go into it. Bounce.
All right. So
dive right in.
Our big new releases for this week. We got 2 of them we're gonna be covering. So on January 7th, Tuesday, we had VeriVery come back with Layback, and then on January 8th, Thursday, we had Ong Seong Wu come back with We Belong. But let's start at the top with VeriVery Layback. Okay. Anita,
Yes.
you are here. You are not lagging.
Yes.
I know that VeriVery is one of your. I don't know if it's your favorite group, but it is a group that you really like.
They're dear to my heart because they're rookies right now. Yes.
Yeah. Do you also know that they're from Jellyfish Entertainment? They debuted last year in 2019. Their last 3 songs. Did you know that they were tag From Now, Ring Ring Ring, and they have 0 music show wins? Do you know that?
I do know that.
What is this?
But different from Norwal, I'm going to let Anita start off with her feelings about this song.
Oh yes. Okay. Well, for me, I've been a big fan of their very retro, old school sound. So this is definitely a change because it sounds more modern, a little bit more mature. But I don't mind it. I think since it's been a year since their debut, it's a good time to change genres if they want to. And I don't think it strays too much from their previous releases where it's like jarring. So I didn't mind it. I did feel that it was interesting that they're keeping up with the very like dark, mysterious concept from their previous release, Tag. I kind of growing into it. It's still a little bit scary. I don't know. It just has very
Scary.
weird vibes. I don't know. I really, honestly, still.
Oh,
Am I back?
you back? You still good?
I'm back. My favorite release from them is still their debut track, Ring Ring Ring. Great song. And a lot brighter. It's kind of like the complete opposite of what they released with Layback. So I don't know. I like both things. I like that they're trying new sounds. I definitely feel like they've matured a year after debut. I saw their live stages and they definitely look more comfortable, a little bit less nervous. So I don't know. I like this. It's not my favorite, but I'm not disappointed.
Okay. Yeah, I'll agree. Like, I used to classify VeriVery as like K-pop guy group bubblegum, right? They did very bubblegummy songs. The music for Tag 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 was still somewhat bubblegum-y, but then the music video had random dark scenes towards the end, particularly. So I thought that was a little bit unexpected. Now it seems like the music video is a bit dark and the song is darker, if that makes any sense. They had a ghost thing going on, I thought, in Tag Tag Tag. Now we got a doppelganger thing going on. So
yes.
I don't know what they're doing. The one thing I want to comment about the doppelganger thing, though, it adds so much to the music video because we get to see angles of the choreography.
Yeah, that's true.
That was an unexpected consequence of that. So I also really like how VeriVery is very choreo focused as a group, which is different than a lot of groups. I know I've been complaining the last couple months, like there's a lot of good music videos, a lot of good songs, but we just don't get to see enough of the choreography. If you feel like that, VeriVery might be the group for you. They show the choreography like the entire time. That's like one of the main things they're doing. Particularly the double mirror rehearsal room scene. I thought that was really cool. And then at the end, they run into the mirror. Now we got two sets of them. I don't know how I felt about having two sets of the members doing the dance, but I thought the mirror thing was really cool. I thought the bass line was a full stank face moment. And overall, I think VeriVery is very underrated in the guy group landscape of K-pop. But what about you, Warren, with your like mediocre face going right now? The expression. What are you feeling about Layback?
I like their set design. First of all, first of all, let's begin here. I agree with a lot of things you guys said. Kind of going off of that, I really like the bass line. Really dope, good bass line, very solid, very stanky, if you will. There was like a lot of warehouse scenes. Like
correct.
All out, like warehouse party over here, and I was like, man, like, is this? I heard like warehouse parties are big nowadays in Brooklyn. Like, Doug, I don't know about you, but like, I heard it's really big nowadays.
Do I look like I'm partying, sir? Continue.
Let's talk about the song. The song is, as in
okay.
I feel like I'm spitting out the same criticism for every song nowadays, and this is no different, really, in that it's sounds I've heard before, sounds that it's something that everyone is doing at the moment. It's one of those trends. It's a deep house inspired, future house bass inspired, EDM dance thing, and that's cool. That's nice. That's fun. At the same time, is this gonna be super memorable for me? No. I've listened to it almost all day. If I had to pick a bunch of things out in particular about the song, I'm not gonna be able to say much, really. So to me, the big criticism here is, again, it's kind of, I've heard this before, and I feel like other groups have done a better job of doing this kind of music. At the same time, if you have been enjoying this new wave of like future house, deep house kind of thing, I'm sure you're gonna like it. I'm sure you're gonna love it.
Yeah, their problem is that there is a very large rookie-ish guy group scene right now.
Yeah. It's
very
a big
strong.
ocean.
If we think about it, like ATEEZ debuted, I believe, the same week as them. I'm not exactly sure, but around the same time.
Same
When did
year. No. ATEEZ debuted
January.
2018.
Oh no, not ATEEZ.
No.
Who am I saying? One Us.
Yeah,
debuted.
yes.
Yeah, they debuted the same week as One Us, I believe.
Because they were the side pieces that week. I remember now. Yeah.
So One Us objectively is doing better than VeriVery. Let's be honest here. One Us has a decent amount of momentum going. The other comparison is, of course, ATEEZ. ATEEZ is slowly approaching a top tier group, I would say. We also have groups like The Boys, who I think is one of their better comparison in terms of the music. Very catchy choruses, focus on the choreo. It's tough. I'm happy that Jellyfish is giving the comebacks, but I'm pissed that Jellyfish is not giving Gugudan comebacks at the same time, which is a whole other discussion because, you know, I'm a big fan of Sejong. She's on the wall behind me, right? Right there. There's Sejong. I get that there's more money to be made with boy groups. I think that is objective. Everyone knows that. I'm happy, and VeriVery gets good songs. I think they are overall decent songs. Gugudan is like, there's not even a basement anymore. They're in like the sub basement. Like, they are so buried right now.
B2.
Like, other than like Sejong and Mina, like missing in action is the rest of the Gugudan members. Overall, a big struggle. I like VeriVery. It's going to be tough. I think they need to keep. Well, I like that they were the bubblegum group. That's what I thought was their thing.
Yeah. But
Now
I
they're
mean,
kind
I feel like they've realized that bubblegum is kind of a dead end with like the genre scene right now.
Yeah, the closest other rookie-ish group who's doing somewhat bubblegum is some of the TXT stuff. Some of their songs could be considered that, but of course TXT has a much bigger following inherently.
Yeah.
I wish that VeriVery doesn't keep going this route, and it's not because I think the music is bad, because it won't let them stand out in the crowd.
The music isn't bad, but it's not good either. It's like, it's okay. It's all right. It gets a passing grade. It does its job. That's it. Like, it's a good complimentary meal during your flight. If that makes any sense.
Bro, Korea Air bibimbap is pretty good though.
All right, I'm talking about like United Airlines over here.
The chicken or beef, the chicken or beef joint.
Can we talk real quick about the English in the song?
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, right? Like, I know English isn't the best strong suit of K-pop to begin with, but like, lay back, show me your face, playback, and then some Korean, and then show me your face, payback.
I mean, it's K-pop. It's all about the face. Like, let's be straight up here.
Grammatically correct.
Really?
Honestly, at this point, if we compare this to like the old English that used to be in K-pop, I'm like, whatever.
I don't know. It's 2020, right? I have new standards. Like,
Okay.
this ain't meeting my standards.
But I thought you were the nice guy in 2020,
Yeah, sweet tea.
the sweet guy.
And I appreciate their effort to incorporate different cultures into K-pop. Good job.
Okay. Honestly, though, I hope VeriVery does well, but it's gonna be a little bit tough based on the scene that exists right now. Right? Anyone else got anything to say before I move on?
I'm kind of losing excitement for this group, to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's rough. I know Anita's not losing hope for this group.
I'm holding it down for them.
All right,
Let's go. Let's
Anita
go.
bounces that out for all of us.
Let's move on to the other song for this week. So it is Ong Seong Wu's song "We Belong," which is his first digital single. He is from Fantagio. He debuted in 2017 with 101, 2019 as a solo artist. His last song was that Pepsi song, Heart Sign, which we were confused about. He has 48 music show wins with 101, 0 as a solo artist, of course. You know, I'm going to speak and talk about the song, but I want to preface it first that saying by Ong was my bias in 101. And in Produce 101.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
I did.
I had no clue.
I feel, though, that this song is completely fan service.
Really?
To the point where I feel that this music video exists for fans to take screenshots of the music video and that's about it. No.
You have a point.
Let me back up a little bit on this. I'm not going to go full angry. I do think the song is okay. My biggest problem is, with me, the reason why I was an Ong fan, good looking dude, that was one of the reasons. I'm not going to say like that was the period. The primary reason was I thought he was such a good performer. From his first performance on Produce, I was like, this is the dude. This is my guy on this show, right? This song has literally zero choreography.
Yeah.
If you want to call the random hand ad libs choreo, which it's not. Let's be straight up here. Like,
What about the book flipping and the letter writing? That's not choreo?
that's not choreo. Let's be honest. I get that his current focus is still to be like an actor singer with a heavier focus on acting. I know he was casted in a musical recently. I don't know if it was I think it's a musical movie, particularly.
Oh boy.
But as a fan of him as a K-pop idol, I was like, man, no choreo. That was my biggest takeaway. But what did you guys feel about this song?
Let's begin with this. I think there are 3 types of people in the world.
Okay.
The first type don't make New Year resolutions.
Okay.
The second type makes New Year resolutions and keeps them. And the third type makes New Year resolutions and fails in like the first week.
Okay.
I think I'm failing.
Oh no,
Man, this
Sugar Man.
man. All right, I tried for a week. It's good enough. All right, like I'll try again next week. But look, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about the previous song. Yeah, I said the song was mediocre, but the music video had a lot of fun stuff to like keep me entertained. You know, there was a cool choreo. The
choreo was cool.
Yeah. And then, like Doug said, Ong just stands around, smiles at the camera. Beautiful man, but like he smiles at the camera. You know, he writes letters, flips some books, lies around a bit. You know, wears a nice cardigan. Nice cardigan, by the way. And that's about it. You have what feels like one of the most generic pop songs I've heard in a long time. It's kind of difficult to again make any comments about the song because there's like nothing that stands out about the song besides like wow wow wow. You know, like
I feel like this is one of those songs that if you're an Ong fan, you're like, all right, it's Ong. I'm happy I'm getting content. But if you're not particularly an Ong fan, you're going to be like, this is a one-time listen deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much appeal here unless you're a fan, to be honest.
You know,
if you enjoyed the song, great, awesome. But to me, there's nothing that stands out about it. Like it's just another song. It's just another money chord going on. Like, come on, like
we have to address though that with Jaehwan, we said, why is he doing choreo for his ballad song? At least I did.
I don't remember saying that.
No, you remember that, Anita, right? I was like, why is he doing ballad choreo? I don't think this is a ballad. I think this song could have had some choreo.
This could have had like one of those like minimal choreos that IU does only during choreo. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, like the little like, you know. Like,
wait. Okay, what choreo was that? Can we see it again? For those of you watching on YouTube.
If you're not watching on YouTube, please don't go to YouTube.
Warren did like a little dance. I don't know what that was.
I need to cut that out. Oh my god.
No, we are not cutting that out. But Anita, before we continue discussing this, what did you think of We Belong? Man, she was definitely here.
He was here. Oh man, now there's more excuse for me to cut all this out.
What?
Oh, Anita, you're here.
I'm back.
I wanted to know what your opinions were on We Belong.
Well, mine were a little bit more positive, I guess. And I think it was because I wasn't expecting the full choreo and everything, to be honest. Because I kind of had a feeling that he was going to focus more on acting. So even having a release was kind of surprising to me. And I felt that for this song in particular, I don't know if it was planned this way, but it just brings so much more focus to his vocals, which is not something that I really appreciated from him.
That's true.
While he was in Produce or in 101. Because he was obviously surrounded by other main vocalists that were kind of more put on the spotlight, I would say. And his choreo, his dancing was highlighted in that sense. So I thought it was interesting. I feel like I kind of appreciated his vocals more because it made me really focus on his ability as a singer, which is something that you kind of question with people when they go solo, when they have a solo debut after being in a group. So I felt like he was solidifying that he had like the singing ability to go along with it. I do feel like it would be nice if he had added choreo, but I didn't feel like it was absolutely necessary to keep me in the song, in the music video. I don't know. I feel like it was a pretty safe choice because like I said, I didn't think he was going to focus too much on like the performance side. And it of course the video is very aesthetically pleasing. I think it is meant to be like a more fan servicey type of
I mean,
content.
he's fan service. Look at the guy.
But at the same time, I feel like the singing was very good, and I thought like, oh, I wasn't aware that he was capable of doing all of that, or
That's
like his
true.
range, to be honest. So I don't know. I like seeing this side. I do miss the more performance choreo side that we know from him in 101 and Produce, but I don't know if I should be expecting that, knowing that he is so focused on acting and he seems to be doing well. So I don't know. I'm honestly curious to see if he's actually gonna go full on like solo singer and acting, or if he's eventually just gonna focus on acting.
Warren, you do you have anything to say, Warren?
No, I think Anita brings up a lot of good points.
Yeah.
At the same time, he did have the freedom to do, well, his management had the freedom to do any genre ever with a soloist,
Mhm. Yeah.
from ballads to R&B to really anything, and he chose a electronic pop song. So from there I was like, all right, a choreo would be nice.
I feel like it comes down to the fundamental argument: does K-pop need choreo? Which is an interesting topic that we might talk about in the future at length, because I remember we've had internal discussions about that. At the end of the day, I think there are certain songs that should have choreo, certain songs that shouldn't have choreo, and there's like a gray area. This song's clearly in the gray area,
Yeah.
but for who he is, I would have liked some choreo. That's like my.
He's capable of it.
Yeah,
That's what
he's
we know.
100%
Yeah.
capable of it.
I know he's capable of it, but at the same time, I don't really see any worth in watching this video again.
Oh.
So you're saying if there was some choreo, then maybe.
Like it was, for the lack of a better word, it was boring. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
As it is right now.
Yeah, as it is right now, it's music I've heard before, stuff I've seen before. Beautiful man, but I'm not really attracted to men, so like I don't know what to say. Like,
Well, here's what I'll say. Because there's no choreo, I bet you there's no promotions of this song, like live stages.
maybe.
I wonder.
What else is it? Unless he pulls out choreo in the live stage, which would be
He
weird,
might.
because that's like not, people don't generally do that, but maybe he will. We'll have to see. But at the same time, I hope he does both acting and singing, because number one, you always want to diversify your income sources in case one lags. And he definitely has the talent to do both. Does he have the
Yeah.
energy and the time to? We'll have to see.
He
But
apparently, one more thing, he did apparently participate in the writing and composition of the song.
okay, so that's pretty cool.
Shout outs, good stuff.
We do have a side piece this week. It's Zico's Any Song, which swept real-time charts. There's also like I don't know if it's viral yet, but Zico has been dancing with certain celebrities.
Challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a Any Song challenge. I've seen the one with Hwasa and the one with Chungha so far. I don't know how viral this is, but it's a thing. But Warren, do you want to comment on Zico's Any Song?
I mean, inherently, I feel like people will think I'm biased towards Zico. That being said, he did do a lot of the things that he did not do a lot of the things I was criticizing in this episode. He did this like bossa nova, samba, jazz thing, which I feel like is the new wave right now.
Oh, really?
It's I've crushed it last year with Not By. I feel like it's one of those new things that are like slowly creeping upwards, and I feel like I'm gonna be right about this. So keep an eye on this. Anyways, fun song, but the lyrics are kind of very personal. It's about like stuff like, oh, you don't care, you don't really care about me. It's you act like you do, but you don't. Like that being said, it's one of those songs I feel like at the same time, while I found it really entertaining to watch because it's kind of fresh. At the same time, I feel like it's gonna get old real quick. Lots of repetition, not super catchy, but at the same time, it's pretty entertaining to watch. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. Fun music video. You will probably, even without me saying all this, you'll probably catch on what's going on like pretty soon, because it's pretty obvious. Man, screw Zico's friends. Just put him down. Like, man.
You mentioned crush, right? I want to give a little anecdote here. So,
Okay.
you remember last week I talked about the Stella Jen concert, right?
Yes.
I think I might have told you guys this, but not the viewers at home yesterday. So, my sister, who was with us on the trip, she lived in Korea for a year teaching English at a high school, and with that program, she had a host family. So while we were in Korea, we met up with the her host sisters, right? The same day as the Stella Jen concert, there was a Crush concert, right?
Oh,
You know who had a 4-song or 3-song set at the Crush concert?
Who?
IU.
Big oof!
Bro.
Big oof!
If I had just gone to I don't know if my parents would have liked the Crush concert, but it was definitely at a way bigger venue. I think it was at the Gymnastics Hall, which is a pretty big venue.
ooh.
But if we had gone to the Crush concert, I would have seen IU. Just wanted to throw that out there. So screw Crush. Just kidding. No, but yeah, I took a big L on that one. But
It's all right.
now let's move on to the show winners for this week. I know I
Yes.
normally do most of the reading on this show, but we are going to be experimenting with something. So let's see how it goes. So Anita will be announcing the show
Yeah.
winners for this week. Lego.
Yes. Well, it's very easy this week since there's not a lot going on. The show and show champion did not have a winner. But for M Countdown, Momoland had their first win for Thumbs Up.
had a
And then
win?
on Music Bank, Show Music Core, and Inkigayo, Red Velvet swept up 3 more awards, bringing him up to 6 wins for Psycho.
Awesome. Good job, Anita. The thing that's crazy is we're gonna talk about it in the news later, but Momoland is going through like a bit of a big news story / scandal right now.
What's going
Big
on
funk.
there?
When they won, they all like cried and stuff.
Aw.
Like it's that level. Like you know how there's memorable stages of people winning and crying, like Girls' Generation when they got in the car accident earlier in the day, they cried. FX after Sully left the group, they cried when they won again, I believe. There's like these historic events when people win after adversity and cry. This is one of those events, and
is
we're gonna
it?
get to the news. I don't know if it's to that level, but like winning and then crying, unless it's your first win, is pretty significant. So that's just a preview for the news we'll eventually get to. But
Bring out the man.
now let's move on to hot takes with Harold. Cousin Harold is back from his extended vacation. He's gonna come on and give his weekly hot take, and the crew will react and discuss the hot take. But please keep in mind, well, this hot take this week, Harold told me a bit of it. It is really related to us, so I'm just gonna go do it. So I'll go get Cousin Harold.
Anita, I don't know how much you hang out in the Discord, but man, people have been really wanting Harold to come back. I was kind of surprised. Is Anita here? All
Man,
right.
who cares if she's back? I'm back.
Okay.
Well, y'all miss me, but the weekly hot take is
I'm here.
visiting Korea for the sole purpose of K-pop is not worth it. Boom.
Good to see you again, man. How was your break?
2020, save me.
What are these lines?
I mean, Harold didn't even address your question.
Yeah,
Because-
the hell, he just straight up ignored me. He was like, 2020, same me. Oh, and then he just went away. And then what is
All right, but Harold's weekly hot take was visiting Korea for the sole purpose of K-pop is not worth it. Super relevant because I just came back from Korea. Warren goes to
Right.
Korea somewhat regularly. Anita's been to Korea within the last 2 years. I want to, yeah, right. You,
What's your last
Yeah.
summer?
yeah, she went there last summer. So we've all been to Korea in the last calendar year, from right now. So
Hanguk. Yeah.
So visiting Korea for the sole purpose of K-pop is not worth it. I like 90% agree with that take. I'll explain why 90%. Number one, it's all about cost benefit, I think. If you're someone who like lives in Japan, lives in China, lives somewhere relatively close to Korea, going there for like a weekend, seeing a concert and coming home, that might be worth it, right? Because there might not be a concert in your country. But if you're someone like us in America, or if you're in Europe and it's like a big financial burden to get yourself to Korea, I think going there just for K-pop, not worth it at all.
Big money moves. If you go.
I'll explain it. So I was in K-pop. I was in K-pop. I was in Korea.
What?
like 10 days ago, right?
Oh yes.
I'll say that K-pop is present in a couple ways in Korea. Number one, if you're in like a touristy area, you'll see a lot of K-pop ads or those subway ads, that type of thing, right? If you're in a place with a lot of restaurants, you'll see Irene on soju ads. That's the main thing. I wanted to steal one of the cutouts. I didn't because I'm a good person.
Good job.
If you're shopping, maybe you'll hear K-pop music being played, but at the same time, it's no different than you going to like the mall in the US and hearing like popular music being played. I don't think there's much of a difference. Like K-pop is present in the tourist areas because that's why a lot of people, at least a part of the reason why they come to Korea. But at the same time, like if you go outside of the tourist areas, like K-pop's not that existent, I would say. It's not like right in your face the whole time. I think that there are so many more culturally significant things to do in Korea than just K-pop. I always see K-pop as like the bridge to get people interested in Korean culture because I think Korean culture is very interesting. There's a really long history, a lot of culture, a lot of things involved. Some of it is reflected in K-pop, but definitely not all of it, right? I think if you're going to spend a lot of money going to Korea, especially if money's just flowing out the wazoo, whatever, just go to Korea for K-pop, right? But if money is like, if you got to save to go to Korea, you definitely should be doing way more things than just K-pop. That's my initial take. What about you, Warren?
I really do agree with this. Expanding a little more on what kind of music plays in the malls to begin with. Half the time, you're not even gonna hear idol K-pop. Half the time, it's gonna be indie stuff, hip hop. There's a lot of hip hop playing on the streets nowadays. And then there's like American pop is played everywhere because it's American pop. Like Billie Eilish was a huge hit in Korea, and then next thing you know, every street vendor plays Billie Eilish.
They do. I can confirm that.
Yeah. So it's not one of those things where you expect you to go to Korea, and if you're expecting to hear, for example, the new VeriVery and Ong Seong Wu song played on the streets all the time, you're never gonna get that. I'm sorry.
I think like the only chance you have of hearing those songs is if you're walking by a TV that's playing one of the music shows and they're on it.
If you go to a cafe that's doing a special event related to them, which
of course.
Yeah, then of course. At the same time, otherwise no. So here's the thing: if you're deep into Korean culture, like you like to eat Korean food, you like Korean makeup, you watch Korean TV shows. I'm describing my roommate minus the makeup part because he was like a white guy. Anyways, if you're like him, there's a big benefit of going there because you will have access to great food. Yeah, you'll probably see stuff you've seen on like Korean variety shows and dramas. For example, the fish market, right? That's always on Running Man. I don't know if it's still on nowadays, but it was on Running Man a couple times and people recognize it. He wanted to see it in real life and eat some sashimi fish. So we were like, all right, that can be one of our destinations. And that's what we ended up doing. We went to the fish market. Is that super K-pop related? No, not really. So if you're one of those people who has a playlist of K-pop, it's about 8. You don't watch Korean TV, or you're not super interested in Korean makeup or skincare, or you're like you don't what dramas, we don't watch dramas. If you're one of those people, I really would suggest you go to a different place. Having lived in Korea, I don't see the world's biggest appeal as a tourist location. Personally, I think it's a great place to be if you want to have a working holiday, or like if you want to live in a place for like 2 months. Then I think Korea is awesome. But if you're gonna visit Korea for like a week, like plane tickets are gonna be like $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me expand on that point. We're not saying don't go to Korea, right? But we're saying don't revolve your entire trip around. If you're planning to revolve your entire trip around just K-pop, you might not have the best of times.
Here's the thing: there's not much to do to begin with if you're like surrounding your whole schedule in K-pop.
No, yeah. My one of my other points was that you can definitely spend a day or two doing K-pop related things, right? That could be a part of your trip, but it should definitely, unless you're just flying there for a concert and flying out, it should not be just the focus of your trip because you're gonna be missing out on so much of the other cool things. But as Warren said, so I was in Korea 12 days, right? I saw some K-pop stuff. I had family to meet, of course, so that takes up a lot of time. I had to go to other places in Korea. So my uncle's, one of my dad's uncles in Daegu, so we went down to Daegu, that kind of stuff.
Fun stuff.
But by the end of the 12 days, especially if you're going for a long time like I did, go outside of Seoul. That's a huge thing because Seoul, there is stuff to do, right? But there's not an infinite amount. By the end, for me personally, we stayed in Seoul 11 out of the 12 days, right? Mm-hmm. By the time the 12th day was done, I was like, I had a vacation. I'm ready to go home. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those feelings. Now, maybe we could have planned a little better, but my family likes to take it easy on vacation. We chilling. We doing like two things. We eating a bunch and then we going home and sleeping. Like, that's how we type. Maybe because we're old, but that's what we like to do. But going back to the topic, outside of super touristy areas, like, you're not going to see many other K-pop, like the presence of many other K-pop idols other than like BTS twice and like Irene. They really only focus on the top tier groups when they're doing ads and stuff, for sure.
Pretty much.
But other than that, it's like, my main point is that you are missing out on so much more culture. Like, although we might say there's a limited amount of things to do in Seoul, Seoul's just interesting because there's a dichotomy between the old stuff and the modern stuff. Because you might see this really old gate and right next to it, there's like 15 skyscrapers.
Right.
That's kind of weird. But Anita, as a person who's not of Korean descent, who went to Korea for the first time this past year, what did you feel about K-pop and your experience there?
I think for me, it was an interesting experience because I wasn't going by myself, right? I was going for school. So we had an itinerary, and of course, our trip was not focused on K-pop related content at all. We did have some stuff, like we went to the Inkigai recording, but the rest of the day or the rest of the weeks that we were there, it was more culturally related stuff, like history, like stuff that delved more on the country as a whole, not specific to the music. So I don't know. I definitely feel like I appreciated the fact that I went with the group and that the focus was not just going to K-pop, like modern things, because I feel like I learned a lot and I did a lot of things that I didn't even know about. So I thought that was nice for people that only know about K-pop or are not too familiar with like historical Korea, like more cultural stuff from the country. I don't know. I feel like I do agree that it's not bad if K-pop is your like gateway into it, but definitely expand out because
Sure.
Of course there's people in the country that do not even listen to K-pop. They're not familiar with like all the groups that are popular outside of Korea. So you might be surprised to know like, oh, like they don't know this group, or like they've never heard of this song because it is just a genre that people listen to. So I think because I came in with that mentality that it was not my main focus, I enjoyed it more and I was pleasantly surprised when it did come up, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point because it's more cool if you go in like, oh, I'm going to go visit Korea. It's like, wow, there's that K-pop person on that ad. That's pretty cool, right? Not just going and searching for that ad. Like, I think there's a lot more when it's like not forced, I would say. And as I mentioned last week, it's like, all right, so I went K-pop album hunting. I looked at a lot of these stores, right? That album search took 2 days before I gave up on trying to find Fancy because I didn't want my whole trip to be dominated by me trying to find this one album, right? It just the first 2 days of my trip was all K-pop related stuff, and other than the concert, that's about it. But
even with the album hunting days, even then, like nowadays, buying and purchasing albums is 99% of the time done online nowadays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're probably gonna not have much luck finding stuff offline.
And here's the thing: if you go to like 2 stores, like maybe I should have known this. You generally know what's going to be in stock in every store.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to 2 of the better stores, you could hit me up if you want to know which ones I think were the best ones. I wanted 9 albums. I found 8 of them in one store. And I spent the rest of the time looking for one other. So maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, but I had the time to do that, right? Of course, I want to mention again, we're not telling you not to go to Korea, but we're just saying that there's so much more to do, so much more to see. And you'll definitely have a better time if it's not your focus.
Here's what I suggest. This is a personal thing I do. When I plan out a trip, when I plan out a vacation, I'm the type of person who likes to plan. And if you're one of those types of people too, this is gonna apply to you. Let's say I'm not sure if I want to go to Korea or not. Let's say, I'm not Korean, so I'm like trying to figure out if I want to go to Korea or not. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing a little bit of research, coming up with a brief itinerary, a plan about what I want to do when I go to Korea. Like, first of all, like day 1, I'll go to this area, Gyeongbokgung, Changdeokgung. Day 2, I'm gonna go to, Myeongdong, and then like
Gwangjang Market.
Right, and then maybe I'll visit the SM Town, office.
Yeah,
stuff like that. And then let's say I built the itinerary. I look at it. If it makes you excited,
go.
You should go.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
But if you have an itinerary and it's day 1 SM, day 2 JYP, day 3 Willem, like, man, you're gonna be bored real quick.
I also feel like I get like maybe one day you camp outside an agency hoping to see someone, but if you do that like the majority of your trip, you're wasting your trip. To be honest,
You went to a foreign country,
There's
most
a lot
likely
to see.
completely around the world, and you're gonna sit outside an office where people work, do 9 to 5s. Come on, guys.
yeah, like I feel like you should go in the mentality like I am probably not going to see my favorite idol in person unless I'm going to an event where they're going to be at for sure. You know what I mean?
I lived in Korea for how many years of my life? Like 9 years of my life. I saw idols 3 times, and all of them were at concerts.
Exactly. Like,
So
That makes sense.
yeah.
yeah, it's like I lost my train of thought. Oh no.
I saw Psy in public once. Did I tell you guys that?
Oh,
You
you
saw
did?
Psy?
This was way before Gangnam Style happened. This is like 2008 or something.
Okay.
It was like a part. He was filming a variety show. I
Oh.
don't know what it was. I was too young, and I was like, "Mom, who is that?" And Mom was like, "You don't have to worry about it. Let's just go."
I saw Psy too in person, but I was at I think a Inkigayo filming as well. So
Wow.
that was
Wasn't that the time when Gangnam Style was blowing up?
it was the week before it blew up. We saw him
Yeah.
practice doing it. He was in like sweatpants and we thought he was like a janitor, but then he started dancing
no.
and we're like, that guy's the singer, I guess. And we were like, this song's pretty cool. And then the next week it blew up. So who knows? Yeah, I think we've talked at length about this topic, but at the end of the day, it's your money, so you can spend it how you want. But if you want to get the most out of spending a lot of money to go to Korea, I think K-pop should be a compliment and not the sole focus. That's just my personal take. But if you are going to go to Korea and you want to know how you can incorporate K-pop into your trip at a decent level, not going too nuts, let us know. Contact us because we'll let you know what you should go see culturally. And maybe if you want to know some of the K-pop spark notes, we'll also let you know that. So
If you want to know the good food, hit me
Oh,
up.
the food's so good.
Hey.
I will let you know. Best fried chicken in the world. Period.
I mean, I feel the fried chicken is more of a reason to go than the K-pop.
I was getting that. Fried chicken.
let's be
Best
straight up.
fried chicken, guys.
I know, right? You know, my brother-in-law, you know what his favorite 2 things were?
What?
What?
The 3-sided gimbaps
Those are good.
and fried chicken. Those he said were the 2 best things he ate like the whole time.
Can you believe a wonderful meal is a triangle and costs about 70 cents?
Bro, he
It's
was
great.
going ham on the samgak gimbaps, yo. So
I don't blame him. Good
all right,
stuff.
now
I had the ones in Japan. They were not as good. Just put
Not
it
as
out.
good?
Oh.
okay. But yo, convenience store culture, just like in Japan, it's
Oh,
really good in Korea.
amazing.
But now let's move on to the news and events from last week. Okay, we here, guys. Okay. This one was added this morning because I still have a little bit of jet lag. I'm like 2-3 hours off from my normal schedule,
Still?
right? I mean, it's only been a week and the time difference was 12 hours, I think. But this one, I was going to go to bed, but then I opened Discord right before I went to bed and it was exploding because this story dropped at about 2 a.m. Eastern time, right? EXO Chen's marriage and fiancée's pregnancy. Okay, that's the
That's a lot to
topic.
take in.
Late last night yesterday, on July 12th, EXO's Chen announced his marriage in a handwritten letter to fans and implied that his fiancée is pregnant. SM soon confirmed the news that EXO's Chen would be getting married and added that his fiancée is a non-celebrity and that the wedding will be private and only attended by the families of both parties. They also later confirmed that Chen and his fiancée are indeed expecting a baby. Earlier today, this morning, it was reported that Chen had already had his wedding in Korea today on January 13th and that his wife is 7 months pregnant. But SM has denied both of these reports. But who knows? Because other people are reporting that she posted their wedding photos on her Instagram, then removed them. So I don't know what's going on. But that's the story. Let's talk about this. Boom.
Right.
So much happened. Wow.
Man, don't protect.
You're just going there.
Oh man.
All right, I'll start off a little lighter then before you get to
Please
this.
do.
All right. Let's ease it in.
If we objectively look at the situation, which is what I like to do with K-pop, I think 99% that this was not planned out. Let's just say that. I think
I would
Girl
agree.
is 7 months pregnant.
well, that's not super confirmed. Let's not say it's confirmed.
Oh, right. You're actually right. Yeah, they denied it. No, sorry.
Okay, Chen, I think, is 27, something like that,
Yeah,
28.
yeah.
He's around that age, which is around my age. He has not gone to the military yet.
Right.
EXO is still active with the members they got, right?
Yes.
In no way, shape, or form would you be getting married and having a child right now. Let's be completely honest about that. Let's get that out of the way.
Man.
But let me also preface this by saying I'm very happy for him. It's definitely a
Yeah.
new step in his life for sure. I wonder what's going to happen with his singing career, what's going to happen, because the reaction of I fans versus the reaction of K fans is the real story here. We've seen this with more recent couples like Kang Daniel Gio last year with Baekhyun, not Baekhyun. The original Baekhyun Taeyeon story was a humongous thing,
Oh my
but
God, that was bad.
let's not talk about that one. The one last year, which was Kai Jenny, we got the Hichol Momo thing. People have been getting more on board with these relationships that have been breaking, right? It seems that even in Korea, people are more positive as time progresses.
Yeah.
But there is a huge societal thing with shotgun marriages, children out of wedlock, that kind of thing in Korea that we have to address here.
Yes.
Last year, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, with Yul Hee from Laboom and Min Hwan from FT Island. That was a bit of a mess. Let's just say, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that both of those groups, although they are popular, are not super popular, right? People just tore them a new one. Objectively, everyone did. The sad thing about that story is they're now expecting twin girls too before he goes to the military. So they're gonna have 3 kids before he goes to the military. That's a true fact. That's confirmed. But going back to Chen, I fans overwhelmingly are very happy for him, saying it's great. They're making jokes about how he's going to have a child before the Super Junior people, which is a fair joke to make, I think. But overall, overwhelmingly, I fans are very happy about it.
I mean, I think K fans are generally not that negative either.
Did you see the things that were trending, the hashtags?
Dude, Twitter is Twitter, my man.
I know, yeah. I know there's trolls on Twitter, but like,
realistically speaking,
people are okay.
People are okay. If you've seen some angry K fans, please don't think they're the majority. I feel like it's more of like a 60-40 split where 60 is like, it's kind of weird that it's shotgun marriage basically, but it's whatever. Do your thing. Live your life.
For those of you at home, shotgun marriage is a term in America. Basically, it's like, how do I describe it? It's like the girl in the relationship gets pregnant and then they're like, oh crap, we have to get married before we have the child. That's the best way to describe it.
Yes.
That seems to be the case here overall.
In terms of Korean proverbs, they went over the speed limit.
Okay. That's a good way to put it. I know it's not as taboo, at least in America anymore, to have children out of wedlock. But in Korea, it is a humongous deal still. It is culturally a no-no, and that is why you see when someone gets... Additionally, we're not going to get into the topic, but how do I put it? Terminating pregnancies is not really a thing in Korea. That's all we're going to say about that, right? So if you get pregnant, you're going to have this baby, generally. So therefore, there's a lot of cases where someone gets pregnant, they got to get married real quick before it happens. Now, if these rumors are true, if in March they announced that they had a baby, oof, right? That's all I'm gonna say about this.
Whoa.
I know. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. I've been joking around and laughing this entire segment. But at the end of the day, congratulations to the man, and I'm glad he's stepping up, taking responsibility.
Of course.
I'm really happy for the two of them. I really hope things work out. I'm knowing the girl's position where she is just a non-celebrity, her new husband being a person who has a lot of younger fans. I am somewhat concerned.
Yes.
Right.
Knowing the internet, it's not gonna be awesome for her. I hope she takes her eyes off of Naver, Twitter, Nate Pond, whatever, and just lives her life for a while until
the fan clubs, some of the ones, especially the ones with the younger members, they exploding and they angry, of course.
Of course. That being said, again, I hope everything works out. A little bit concerned for the girl. If people make fun of Chen a little bit, I think he kind of deserves it.
I wouldn't say he deserves it, but he should expect it.
That's what I should say. Yeah, he should have been expecting this kind of reaction.
Like, if comedians start making jokes, it's bound to happen. Someone's gonna make a hot take about it. Anita, what do you feel about this before we continue talking about it?
Okay. I think for me, it comes as a shock, of course, but I also feel like more than anger, like, of course I'm not angry or anything, because I'm happy for them. I feel like it's not supposed to be a bad thing, but as you mentioned before, it's the timing, right? The poor planning, really. And I just feel really bad that it's happening all so fast for them, because I feel like it should be something happy for them as a couple. I do worry, like Warren mentioned, about like his fiance, about him. Like, I don't know if this messes things up as far as like promotions, or, like his status within the group. I don't know. I hope everything works out for them. If the rumors that she is 7 months pregnant already, that makes it so much more confusing, though, since they went along with the Obsession promotions, and I don't know, that must have been very, very hectic. Like, I can't even imagine if that is true, like what he was going through as his, like, planning out, like whether to tell the agency, or I don't know. I don't know what happened, if it is true, but I just hope that they are getting a lot of support for like family and friends, and that people come to understand that I think it was mostly poor planning, really. I don't have any objection with like getting married and his dating life. I don't think we needed to know that. It's just the arrival of a baby make things more complicated, especially with his position and having to serve in the military pretty soon, and promotions. One thing that I was thinking about was that I had seen a trend where, like, when artists had a very sudden marriage, or like a baby was expected, that they kind of tend to take a break from the limelight. Like, I remember that happening with Mooney June, like that thing that happened. And I don't know, I feel like I kind of want to say, like, I understand it, like they're protecting themselves, they're kind of giving a rest to the media, but I also feel like it's really sad, because it means like they just have to like hide kind of for a period of time, just because it's so looked down upon. And I don't know, I feel really concerned. I hope that it works out for them.
Moonijun's situation had a lot more complexity to it,
because he's way older than her. That was one of the main things.
That too.
Can you explain who Moonijun is and his wife before you continue?
Moonijun was a part of a group called HOT, Gen 1 group, late 90s. And then his wife is part of Crayon Pop, which is what are we calling them? Gen 3, Gen 2.5.
Yeah, and they had a significant, like, 15-year age difference, and she was still active as an idol.
I mean, I would argue, like, that's not even the core of the problem. The reason people were really unhappy with the situation was because he straight up lied in people's faces. It's like, no.
He denied?
He was like, no, we're not getting married. And turns out they were getting married. And he was like, no, she's not pregnant. And then it turns out she was like halfway through the pregnancy. So, like, that had a whole nother level of complexity, where, dishonesty and whatnot. If Chen goes the same route here, I would be somewhat unhappy with the situation. However, it seems like the approach is wildly different, really. So,
can I make a take here?
sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, get ready for this, everyone.
Oh dear.
I'll brace myself.
No, it's not a bad take. It's a good take.
Okay.
It sucks that there is such a double standard between genders in this situation where a guy idol may receive some flack, but generally they can continue on their career. Where a female idol, especially in that case, where you get pregnant, your career is completely over. At least on an idol level. Because when she got pregnant, the member of Crayon Pop, it ended the group essentially. I don't know everything that went down, but it more or less ended the group. Yuli had to leave Laboom all of a sudden, fam. I get why that's the case, but it's obviously it takes two to tango. Let's just say that, right? It takes two to tango. They're both equally responsible. It's just that one of them has to carry the baby. I think it sucks that there's that kind of double standard. Additionally, if we think about the situation with Super Junior, the one member who randomly got married, I forgot, Sungmin, he got like blacklisted from the group.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an SM guy in a popular group similar to Chen. I wonder what's gonna. And he also had a non-celebrity wife. I wonder what's gonna happen. There's a child in this case. I guess my only real point. He's at the age where it should be fine to get married and have a kid.
Of course,
although if you were a normal person, you would have went to the army by now, most likely. It's just that he's in a special position as an entertainer, where he can afford to go later, which is clearly what's going on here. It sucks because the person who's going to suffer most is I'm not an expert on early childhood, but it sucks that the kid will not have their father around for at least 18 months.
Tough, yeah.
I don't think that's a great situation. All right, but I think that this wraps up the topic on Chen's marriage and his fiance's pregnancy. Now let's move on to the next big news. So the first part wasn't a big shock. It kind of just happened. So BTS announces comeback. The bigger thing was the speculation that Big Hit will be acquiring Pledis. So the first part, on January 7th, BTS announced that they would be releasing a new album in February. The announcement on Weverse stated, "Hello, BTS Map the Soul 7 will be released on Friday, February 21st. Pre-orders will begin Thursday, January 9th, so they've already began. Additional details about the new release will be available on the BTS Weverse and the Fan Cafe. We look forward to continued interest and support from all of ARMY." An extensive comeback schedule was then released the following day, with the first single being released on January 17th. So we were getting a song off the album on the 17th. And along with multiple international Connect events ahead of the album's release on February 21st and the release of the lead single's music video on February 28th. So they're going to release the album on February 21st and then release the music video for the A-track on February 28th. The hashtag #preorder7 trended #1 on Twitter. And there is also a Big Hit US online store currently with free shipping up to 4 albums. And there is a pre-order bonus, and there's 4 types of albums. So I wonder what they want you to do. So the pre-order numbers are expected to be massive. I heard like individual sites already are recording over 170,000 copies. Like this is going to be nuts. They also released a album preview called Shadow with Suga. It was crazy. The scenes were nuts, especially the camera shot. There was a scene at the end where he's in a crowd and everyone's taking pictures of him. I thought that was incredible.
What a flex.
I asked some people on the Discord, and I may be wrong, but I believe that this is a standalone song and an overall preview of the album. That's what people think it is. So that was the let's first talk about BTS announcing their comeback. This might be the biggest comeback in the history of K-pop.
Yeah.
My question always with every BTS comeback now is this gonna be the peak? And every time it seems bigger than the one before.
For sure.
Man, there's record breakers over here.
Yeah, we have no way to know. Like, we'll see once we get numbers when they quote unquote peak, which like the only way I feel right now that they're gonna quote unquote peak is when the majority of them are in the military, but I still think ARMY's gonna come out in force and buy a ton of albums. So we'll have to see what happens. It's the most interesting storyline for the next 5 years. The more shocking news was that yesterday, January 12th, not as late as the Chen news, but still decently late, it was reported that Big Hit Entertainment acquired Pledis. Although Big Hit and Pledis have stated nothing is confirmed, many believe that the acquisition is just a matter of time. Pledis is home to 17 and Newest, and the groups would be joining BTS, TXT, and G-Friend from Source Entertainment, which Big Hit acquired in 2019, on an already stacked roster.
Okay. This reads to me in a new way. Back when they were acquiring Source Music, it was like, all right, they want to balance out their resources. They want to expand out a little bit, get some girl groups in their roster because they don't got any girl groups.
Yeah, and they announced that audition for a future girl group too.
Right. They hold the whole like audition demo thing with the new person from SM and whatnot. And then now they went and bought Pledis. Well, we think they're going to buy Pledis if they haven't already. If this happens, this means that what they want to do is much bigger than what we expected.
Yes.
They basically want to be Disney of K-pop.
Huh?
They're buying out every little company, and then they're trying to make themselves one of the bigger people in the market, just like SM, just like CJ.
Yeah.
Notice how I didn't say JYP and YG.
Because they do most of their stuff in-house.
They do most of their stuff in-house. They don't have a lot of like subsidiary companies or like companies under them or next to them. SM has a wide reach of celebrity companies under them. Like Million Market is part of SM. Like stuff like that. That being said, JYP doesn't really have that. YG doesn't really have that. CJ does. So now, if I had to pick a big three, it would be SM, Big Hit, and CJ.
Oh.
I don't know if
You didn't pick JYP? Okay.
I don't think JYP belongs there anymore. Like, here's the thing. JYP, yeah, they have a great roster of people. Twice, ITZY, GOT7, Stray Kids, and then a couple soloists. You know, like
Day 6.
right, Day 6. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But anyways.
JYP lost all their soloists, bro. Most of them. that's the take, but continue.
Who's the Wonder Girls girl that does like a lot of steady pop?
Yubin.
I was about to say
Yes, you've been.
Yeah, Yubin's in YG. Sorry, JYP. My God. But to me, this reads as okay. They want a bigger pie of the market. They want a bigger market share. They want a part of the big boy table.
Do you think this is an era shift where we're going under conglomerates?
100%.
Okay.
This is where the new generation is gonna happen.
Oh.
This is where Generation 4 kicks in, guys. This is it. We're watching it happen. Whether it might be horrifying and it might be exciting at the same time. It's gonna be either great or amazing or both. And I'm super excited. I'm super pumped.
Let's go back to the basics of the deal, right? If Big Hit acquires Pledis, they now have the 1 and 2 biggest acts in K-pop. Because
by numbers, yeah.
By numbers, Big Hit. I mean, BTS clearly the number 1. Number 2 was 17. They now have the 1 and 2 biggest acts in K-pop. That alone.
Wow.
That alone, I think, is at least 8 million albums last year.
Oh my goodness.
7 to 8 million albums. Because I know BTS was in the 6 millions. Oh no, actually, I think 17 was in 3 million. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember the numbers. But it's definitely like over 7, 8 million.
It's many millions.
Many millions of albums. And it's like, if we think about the girl groups that were like potentially able to be bought, right? It's like IZ*ONE's under the CJ banner, so you can't do that. Twice is under JYP, you can't buy them, right? Red Velvet's under SM, you can't buy them, right? Blackpink's under YG, you can't buy YG. Honestly, there's no.
I mean, at this point,
the other companies the other groups you could possibly buy is like a G-Friend, a Mamamoo, that kind of thing, right? So they bought like the best thing they could possibly buy. So like, they are literally just acquiring everything that's like possible to be acquired.
now, if this deal goes through, which to me is already smelling like monopolization, so I'm not even sure about it. But if it goes through, they might be setting their eyes next on other companies.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's our point to speculate to speculate about a speculation.
Okay,
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But like I'm just saying, if this goes through and then they start buying stuff like Cube I wouldn't be surprised. Just putting that out.
Oh.
They were rumored at one point
Yeah.
to be the next domino. I agree with your statement about conglomerates, though. And, Korea has really weak antitrust laws. That's why the chaebol system is a thing. So they're going to let this happen, right? Because they get tax money at some point, right? So
If he's not a traditional chaebol though, like
I know he's not. But at the same point, for a music, he's technically going to be a chaebol.
no, he gonna be a started from the bottom guy. Like he like made it from the like.
Yeah, so Anita, what are your overall feelings of this potential acquisition of Pledis?
I mean, I hadn't even thought about like the Disney comparison, but what I've always wondered is how management of the acquired group is going to work out. Just because I'm not sure how they plan on managing G-Friend and 17 US,
That's true.
everything that's under those companies, like creatively, or I don't know. I don't know how things will work out with comebacks after they are under Big Hit, technically, which would be interesting to see if it affects like production, like sound. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Like, it's hard to imagine, like, if there was a Big Hit family concert, right? If that is a thing now, like, to see all of these acts together.
People would go.
Of course. But I
go.
just like it's groups that I did not imagine together because they were not made under the same company, right? So it's just really interesting to see how they're gonna make them work.
Warren has a weird face going on. So
Oh.
go Warren.
Mama 3 years ago.
Mm.
G-Friend 17. Nobody getting what I'm referring to?
No.
No.
They had a collab together, like G-Friend and 17. Like
They did?
G-Friend and like 17 did like Azu nice. Da 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 da. No, nobody.
I mean,
did
were they on
not
the stage
remember.
together or did they just cover each other's songs?
They were on stage together and they danced together. Like they
I
did.
think you're like reading way too far into this 2
I'm
years
just
ago.
saying, it's like it was a good, like all right, fine.
But I feel like, to be honest, I feel like the collaboration that you mentioned, like I can see that with like G-Friend 17, okay, 3 years ago, but like with BTS, like I feel like that just adds a whole different
No, yeah.
level.
What if we see BTS
It's
cover
it's so different to me.
What if we see BTS cover Me Gusta too?
There's no way that's happening. But I want to go back to Anita's first point. I think the best way to put it is, how well do you take care of things that aren't your own?
Right.
There's like this, in dramas and in TV and maybe in real life. Like, let's say we're going back to kids. Let's say you have a family and you get stepkids. How well are you going to treat them? Are you going to treat them like your own or are you not going
Priorities,
to?
Right, yeah.
With a company like Big Hit, they know what they're doing. Like, I have full, like, how there's certain things of like confidence in a entity, right? BTS, I mean, Big Hit Entertainment has my full confidence. I'm sure they'll do them well, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like, how much control do they want? Are they going to let the Source Entertainment staff still do their thing, or do they want a lot of input? They built that massive new building that's going up right now. That's another thing to look at.
The recent trend in terms of acquisitions be acquire it and then let the current staff do whatever the hell they want. Right? Like that's what CJ did. That's kind of what Disney did, minus Star Wars. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. That's what I was thinking about.
Here's another thing. There was a slight rumor that Fromus 9 was moved to Pledis' roster.
Really?
How would that work?
Because they're sort of under the CJ banner, but if you look at Eyes One stuff and you look at Fromus 9 stuff, they practice in Pledis' rooms and building. So
Sounds iffy.
I wonder how that's gonna play out.
Sounds
But
like some
overall,
smelly news to me.
BTS coming back, massive. This potential deal, also massive. So Big Hit making all the moves. Let's move on to something that might not be as nice, but Daisy versus MLD Entertainment. On January 7th, KBS published an interview with Daisy and her mother, where she revealed major details about MLD Entertainment and the Mnet survival show Finding Momoland, which formed the group. Daisy has been on hiatus since February 2019 and revealed 3 major details during her interview. Number 1, But please keep in mind, these are from her side. We're also going to address MLD's rebuttals. So number one, on the day she was eliminated from Finding Momoland, she was contacted by MLD staff and told not to worry because they had already had a plan for her to debut after the first album, regardless of her elimination from the show. This basically reads that she is saying that the show was rigged from the start. Number two, the company even subtracted the cost of producing the show Finding Momoland from the individual members' earning sheets back in 2017. Around 70 million Korean won, which is about 60,000 United States dollars per member. Number three, although Daisy kept telling MLD Entertainment she was able to promote now, the company told her that it was better for her to rest. When she requested her termination from the company and the group, MLD Entertainment responded that she would have to pay a 1.1 billion Korean won penalty fee, which is about $1 million USD, for breaching her contract. So those are the accusations from Daisy's side. In response, CJ has stated that there was no findings of manipulation for Finding Momoland during their overall reality show investigations, right? Connecting to Produce and these type of shows. MLD Entertainment a couple days later released a couple statements addressing KBS's quote-unquote one-sided interview with Daisy and her mother. I kind of can see their point saying it was one-sided because they only had Daisy and her mother on there, right? That's fair. They stated these are their rebuttals. Number one, Momoland's lack of promotions for 9 months since March is due to their conflict with Daisy and her mother. That's a big take. Number two, after her dating scandal, which if you remember, she was in a dating scandal with a member of iKON. Momoland side said yes, they're in a relationship. iKON side said no, they're not. And it was messy. So after that dating scandal, they claimed that Daisy's mother asked for them to remove her from Momoland. But as the group was preparing for a comeback at the time, they asked her to instead take a break from promotions. If that is true, that seems quite reasonable as well. Number three, after Daisy's mother sent legal documentation for the termination of her contract, they had agreed, MLD agreed to terminate the contract without penalties, but were denied by Daisy's side and were then given an unreasonable monetary demand. So they're saying that Daisy and her mother's side wanted money. MLD then rescinded their offer and went with a more standard approach, which includes a termination fee based on the clauses in the Fair Trade Commission's standard contract. So they're saying that $1 million termination fee, it is true, but it is the standard based on what the Fair Trade Commission standards are. Now, somewhere in the middle of that lies the truth.
First of all, that 10 billion penalty fee.
1 billion.
Not 10 billion. 1 billion Korean won penalty fee. Roughly 1 million US dollar penalty fee. That's a number I've seen being thrown around here and there. I don't know if it's legit, but
there has not been any official statement saying that that's too much. It seems to be what is standard at this point.
Pretty much. I've seen similar numbers come from Amoeba Culture. Yeah, back when they had their dispute with Essence, and then I had another similar one with brand new musical and so that should be about right.
And I think that number is based on potential future earnings for the company, that kind of thing.
Right.
Which is if you're ending this contract now, you are not letting us make all this money, therefore you have to give it to us. I think that is the overall arching theme. A lot of people are on two sides of the fence. Number one, they're saying Daisy was unrightfully put on hiatus, which I kind of agree with, right? But at the same time, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Now, maybe the dating... I'm not going to say what happened because we don't know, right? What we do know was that Daisy was put on hiatus. That's for sure. After that, though, it seems that both of them agree that after that hiatus, her mother wanted her out of the group. Well, their side wanted her out of the group. I think both sides are agreeing on that, right?
It looks like it, yeah.
After that, it seems that Daisy's side is saying they just asked us for this crazy fee for us to leave the group. Where it seems that MLD Entertainment side is saying, we agreed to it, but then they ask we want a severance package. Where because we're leaving the group, we want some money to get out of your hair. And MLD Entertainment was like, no, the standard way to do it is for you to give us money.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to context and the way the situation is rolling out right now. The situation is very ambiguous in terms of what actually went down.
I mean, I'm sure both sides have a paper trail. The truth will probably come. Like they're most likely they're gonna go to court, right?
Looks like
And they're all gonna show their read receipts, their legal documents, and then the truth will come out. But it is a mess. It sucks for Daisy that she's not promoting with the group if that's what she wants, and it sucks for the remaining members of Momoland because they were already down like 2 members permanently, and at this point, there's no way Daisy's gonna be put back into the group. There's no way. I can't see that happening.
Yeah, it seems very unlikely. Man, it's bleak.
Right?
Man,
Anita, what are your thoughts? You got any other thoughts?
I don't know. I think for me, like Warren mentioned, is very vague. Where it seems like there's just some information missing as to what was really meant from Daisy's side at some point. Like if they really just wanted to be removed, and then they asked for money, because then that makes it a whole different story. But I think, I don't know. I feel like the stem of this whole issue seems to be the dating scandal, right? So I just feel like, man, if things were a little different, it might not have been a huge issue if there had been no like miscommunication between like YG and then what MLD stated or like what they said. I don't know. I feel like I hope that it works out, and I don't know. I really don't think, like you mentioned, I don't think she could come back to the group after
No way
this,
at this point.
which is sad if she wants to.
That would be.
It'd be so awkward.
That would be so awkward. Like, imagine after all the court stuff, you come in and like, all right, should I go to your office to train again for next comeback?
There's no way at this point. They burned all the bridges. I think it sucks because the other members are definitely suffering because of this, and they're getting the attention for completely the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But let's move on to some spicy stuff. So Dispatch released details about X1's disbandment and the meeting and all that stuff.
Oh.
On January 9th, Dispatch released an exclusive report detailing the events from the meeting of the X1 members agency representatives that occurred at CJ on January 6th. According to Dispatch, the company representatives chose to determine X1's future based on a unanimous vote, as we mentioned last week. Even if one person voted yes to X1's disbandment, the group would be called off. There are some accounts of the discussions of what happened in the meeting room, which you can look up fully online. But to summarize, there were those who wanted to disband as quickly as possible and those who wanted to either keep the group together or end the group in a more subtle way. The results of the votes from the 9 representatives from the agencies of the X1 members were as follows. 4 of the people in the room wanted to keep X1 together, right?
Okay.
4 of them voted no, let's disband them. And 1 person was undecided, and that was, okay, I'm pretty sure they had a system of X's and O's, right? For this vote. Someone made an X with the connected bottom. So it was in between. They showed the shape.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. You could look this up.
Oh
There
my
was like an
goodness.
X, but the bottom 2 prongs were like looped. So it's like somewhat in between. And that person,
Wow.
We're not in middle school, guys.
Well-
what are you guys doing?
well, that person got a result of undecided when they read the results. As a result, X1's disbandment was decided in less than 2 hours.
Imagine like a group of middle-aged Korean, like half of them balding men.
In suits.
And yeah, in full suits, they're like, oh, what are we gonna do about this situation? The media is looking at us. And
Yeah, one guy's like, yeah, let's make a looped X. But yeah, so regardless of what that guy did, people wanted to end them, so it was going to be ended. Here are some quotes, though, that were given by an anonymous source. Swing Entertainment, which is X1's agency, CEO Cho, stated that the X1 members wanted to attend the final meeting. They wanted to express to the company representatives their wish to continue promoting together. However, some of the companies were against the group's continuation. Ultimately, the members' wishes did not matter. It was also reported that Swing CEO Cho also suggested for X1 to release a final single as a goodbye to the fans, since the members had already took part in a recording of a winter track not long ago. This idea was also shut down along other suggestions for X1 to leave a farewell video message to the fans. Swing Entertainment will be giving X1's official fan club registrants, so people who registered for their fan club, a full refund. There were rumors of X1 unit groups being formed out of this, but the agencies have more or less come back and said that they have had zero discussions about this.
Wow.
Well,
I feel like the swing CEO Cho guy was on the right path. I think that was the moral right thing to do there.
yeah, I like him. I've never met him. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what his hair status is. But you know,
At the end, there would have been closure for that to
Right.
happen.
like a goodbye single that wouldn't hurt. Like a goodbye video on YouTube saying, "We're this has been unfortunate, but we want to thank you." Like that would have been amazing. Like how much effort does that take?
Not that it takes one person holding a phone to their 12. I forgot if there's 12 or 11 faces. Like that's all it would have taken. Like zero effort. Yeah, and like they've moved out of the dorms, and then some of them have opened up separate like V Live channel, so it's over. Like, man, it just sucks because it seems like the swing CEO guy was like, "Let's do the right thing," and then the people who wanted to vote like, "Let's disband them," were like, "It's over, bro. Deal with it."
Man, I guess for me, it makes me wonder like what the thought process is from the representatives that decide to say like, no, let's cut it down here, like no more, because I don't know, it doesn't. I guess to me, it would be better to have a more closure, like cleaner ending, than to just cut them off like this. But I don't know what the thought process was behind each company, like their reasoning behind just ending it.
There are 11 members. I would like to confirm that there are 11 members. IZ*ONE with the Produce 48 has 12, but X1 from Produce X101 has 11. The interesting thing for me in all of this is that which companies are going to accelerate timelines, because they had clearly planned for them to be in X1 for 3 years and then concurrently with their other agency stuff for 2. That was the plan. I wonder what's going to happen, because a lot of these companies are probably like, well, especially the ones who wanted them to stay there, like, well, we got the kids back. What are we supposed to do now? Like, we were planning on raising trainees for 3 years, and now we got these kids who are really popular, and I don't know what to do with them.
Not gonna be a great situation.
Yeah,
I really planned out.
And it sucks for certain trainees like Johan, who's from We Entertainment, who doesn't have like the biggest track record. I think some of the Anita, who were the trainees? Mashiro and Junhao.
Yeah.
They already left the company. I looked that up.
They left.
Yeah, that happened last week, I believe. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like Johan himself has tons of popularity. Other people like Usuk can just go back to attention.
Established groups, yeah.
Yeah, but for some of the ones who don't have much going on, good luck to them, because it sucks overall. Is that enough of that?
Yeah.
Okay, quick takes. Some of them are spicy. First one. JYP Entertainment released a statement on legal action against the spread of Twice's flight information. It was like a big warning. This is what you gonna get if you leak their information. Mm-hmm. Number 2, they filed for a restraining order and pressed charges against Twice Nyan Stalker. That is good. This is all in the wake of that plane incident where the stalker obtained Twice's flight information, well, reportedly obtained their information, and attempted to board the plane and meet Nyan. This is great. The best thing, radio silence from the stalker on Twitter since the announcement of the charges.
He's too busy shaving his awkward goatee.
The second one, we got good news, yo. Twice's Mina expected to participate in fan event for the group's and Twice album promotions in Japan.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Nice.
This is her first active promotion since her hiatus due to anxiety disorder back in August. So they also said she's going to be, I think she will be doing the full promotions.
Wow.
What's better than 8-member Twice?
9-member Twice. With Minari. Shout out to Minari. Okay, back to the sad news. Luna's Hasu, Monsta X's Juhan, and Oh My Girl's Gio will all be taking breaks from promotions to address and recover from mental health issues. Specifically, Hassel will not be participating in the group's It's the Burn era, but hashtag comeback promotions when they come back on February 5th. That is unfortunate. And she did take a break last year at some point too, so It's not the first time, and they all seem to be suffering from things like panic disorder, anxiety, things of that nature. So it sucks.
Hope they get enough rest.
Yeah.
And things work out for the best for them.
The silver lining, golden lining, whatever you want to call it, is that people are addressing these mental health issues more than they ever before, and it is good that they're taking these rests. Interesting. C9 releases name and logo of upcoming girl group.
What?
The girl group name will be Signature with a C for like C9. They're going to have 7 members, and they plan to debut in, I forgot to write it here, February next month.
Wow, that's so soon.
I saw that in an article.
You guys know who my favorite boy group of the new boy group of last year was, right?
C9.
CIX from C9. I think they have a horrible naming scheme going on, but besides that, I love it. It's great. It's lovely.
Here's a environmental news report. As of January 13th, Cherry Bullet is stranded in Manila, in the Philippines, as airports shut down due to the tall, I think that's how you pronounce it, volcano eruption.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
They are safe, but because of the smoke and the ash, planes aren't taking off, so they are stuck in Manila.
Man. Yeah, Earth does not like 2020, by the way.
Yeah.
It's been
Lots of
rough.
natural disasters like everywhere, and then where there isn't natural disasters,
There's political tensions all over the world too. Let's not talk about them. But lastly, Anita, I know you were looking for ATEEZ tickets, but Monsta X, AB6, and Stray Kids have all announced some tour dates for their world tours.
oh boy.
AB6 technically announced in late December, but I couldn't find the space to put it in until today. But you got to look these up if you're a fan of Monsta X, AB6, Stray Kids. They are all making tours outside of Korea. Some of them are making European legs. I know Monsta X is doing North America, Canada, and the US. And I think the concert in New Jersey or New York is on June 6th. How do I remember that? I don't know, but I do.
You know who else is doing a world tour starting in like a week?
Who?
Hyogo.
Okay.
Oh.
Doug, let's
They
go.
came to New York, I want to say last year or the year before. So
I think they're coming again in like March. Let's go. I have nobody else to go to it with.
I'm not the biggest Hyogo fan, but I'm always down to go see something.
Yeah, I need to drag somebody because I don't want to go alone. So.
Okay, so you know how Warren did the show winners? Warren will be doing our comebacks and releases. So tell us first what is coming back this upcoming week.
Before I do that, did you say Warren?
I am not worried.
Anita did our award show.
Man, man, I'm dropping out of the podcast.
I mean, how could I mess up the name of the visual of our team?
What?
But Warren, first, give us what is coming back this coming week.
January 15th, Wednesday, Taeyun of Girl Generation.
It's like a repackage of the oh god, what was the it was about fire Spark. The Spark, was that her Spark?
The last
That was her.
Yeah.
The last thing, I think
The
it was
one
Spark. Yep. It's a repackage of that. What else?
January 17th, on Friday, BTS was first single off of Map of the Soul 7.
That should be pretty cool.
That's happening.
And then now hit us with the confirmed comeback news.
Yeah. Stray Kids, not sure, is dropping something on January 24th. They've dropped a mysterious teaser image recently. Lucky Anita, because
Yeah.
Jetskis is coming back on January 28th. Super Junior, again, Lucky Anita, is coming back on January 28th. Luna, Lucky Orbit's out here, coming back on February 5th. And BTS making their full comeback on February 21st.
Yeah.
Right at
So
time.
January 28th, is it like Anita, can I make one funny joke here?
What is it?
Is it like retirement home day?
Oh, what?
Sorry.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Just wanted to say that to piss you off. But yeah, Jessica's in Super Junior. Veteran Day. It's Veterans Day on that day. Let's just put it like that.
That's only so much better.
Okay, so State of the Nation.
Oh, man.
I have been assembling my photo cards into an album, right?
Yes.
I bought the only twice pre-order photo card set I did not have. So now I own one of every single era, a set of from every single era that it was available. I'm going to make a video about that eventually, but the first one that will be coming out next will be a opening from Luna. I have some of their meet and greet official goods. That should be cool. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, what I've been listening to, CLC. That's what I've been listening to.
Really?
CLC.
That came out of nowhere.
Shout out to the sticker on the wall, Yeon, who's my favorite member. Also, Jang Seung-young. Those are my two favorite members of CLC. Y'all should listen to CLC. Like, they are criminally underrated. They go hard in the paint. CLC so good. I want to give a shout out to Cube Entertainment. They do some of the best behind the scenes videos for their groups.
Really?
Relative to a lot of groups. I don't know, like, it's not like I'm watching everyone else's behind the scenes stuff, but I just know that Cube does a great job with G-Idol and CLC stuff. I don't have that much more. I'm still jet lagged. I'm a mess. Like, it's been tough. Warren, what have you been doing in the last week?
In the last what?
Week.
Oh, you cut off after last. Oh, so I was like, last month, week, year, decade, century. I don't know what I've been doing.
Go on, Warren.
I have been doing a lot of things recently. Lots of work-related stuff. Lots of visiting, exploring New York City related stuff. Cool stuff. But when I'm doing those things, I'm always listening to music. I've been in a cycle of going back and listening to old Korean rap from like early 2010s, late 2000s, some of them from like early 2000s, like old Carrion albums, Drunken Tiger, the fourth album, stuff like that. I've also been listening to a lot of Changmo. That's recent, came out last November, December.
I saw it's like, you know how they do that video where they drink and then they sing some of their songs?
Yeah.
He has one of those that came out, I think, today.
It's one of those. It's one of a very few albums where I listened to it and initially I think horse poop.
Oh,
I like that.
then-
You censored yourself. Horse poop. Let's
Thank
go.
you. It was horse poo poo when it first came out, and after like a month or so, I was like, this isn't actually that bad. And then now it's like, Metal, goddamn Metal. It's a great album. You guys should check it out.
He's like a genius, right?
He's
in your
he's
opinion?
honestly nowadays he's my favorite rapper in this generation.
Okay.
After like C Jam and like Justice, like the typical people I like. After that, I would have to pick Changmo, man. I actually would
Voice.
put his album in my top 5 albums of last year, regardless of genre. So
wow.
yeah, I know, right? Crazy. That being said, you guys know that I have a burning desire to talk about rappers and hip hop musicians on this little thing we do every week.
Yeah.
I don't know how to incorporate it after.
How about
it,
you make
but-
a YouTube video where you talk about hip hop for like the hip hop weekly wrap up? Oh, whoa.
wow.
Oh, I just thought of a name. Hey, let's go.
No.
What? I mean, you could just talk about 5 minutes what came out.
Yeah, maybe. All right, we'll see what happens. But anyways, my point was, we've been talking about this in the Discord, but I'm open. I've been trying to explore new ways to make content on YouTube, similar to the way Doug does. But obviously, hip hop merch is bull crap. Like,
It's so expensive. There was a discussion today about like, I want this $50 shirt, but the shipping's gonna be $50.
the
Oh my
DPR
goodness.
T-shirt merch. Let's talk about that real quick. For those of you guys who don't know, DPR is they're very popular in the Western audience. There's a rapper called DPR Live and a bunch of producers, DPR Ian, DPR Christian, whatnot, DPR Cream, and they dropped the merch line, the DPR Dream Perfect Regime merch line, T-shirt for $50, hoodie for $100. Bruh, I don't have money growing on trees over here. Hard pass for me. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll take a big L on this one, buy the T-shirt, because it was like a cool looking T-shirt. And then I went and looked at it; it was all sold out.
Big L, sir.
Big L. The smaller
think-
size was there, so maybe if you want to, Anita, if you want to buy a T-shirt for $70,
No, Warren, you should buy it extra small, just so it'd be funny.
no, my body's not gonna like that. It's gonna be like tight and all over my skin. I don't like that. I dress very oversized. If you notice.
The overall message though is that we are listening to your requests for more content, and we will try to give you more content going forward, specifically on YouTube. I would say.
Don't worry. Even if you guys didn't want more content,
You're getting it.
Yeah, we're just crazy people who have nothing else to do. So
I know.
worry.
Also, Warren and I are gonna meet up and make some other maybe we'll make a vlog when we go to this Hyugo concert. Who knows? That could be a thing. Although I'm selling my vlogging camera right now, so that's a thing here. Because I don't think I'm gonna use it much.
Do you want to advertise that?
No, it's doing well. We don't need help. It's doing really well.
No self promo time this week.
No self promo time for my eBay account. But Anita, what have you been doing in the world of K-pop or just in general?
Not much. I feel like.
Can I ask you one thing before you start?
Yes.
Did you get AT's tickets?
No, I'm still in the search for them. So
Okay.
if you
Giving up yet?
pick it up, section 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
No, sadly, we're still on the search for that. I'm honestly I don't know if it's gonna happen, but
Can I tell you something? There was news.
what?
I don't know if it's specifically Chicago, which is the one you would want to go to, but they are releasing more tickets for some of the dates.
Huh?
That was a news article I saw before we recorded. So you should.
Do you know which city though?
No, they didn't say, but they said 7 of the dates they are releasing more tickets. So
Well, I need to be
Look
on the
into
lookout
that.
for that then.
Besides
I
Chicago,
doubt.
where are you going? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna think though, like if they do add more, would they want to add dates to?
no,
city or
I don't know if they're adding dates,
seats?
but they're like some of the. You know how stadiums they don't put all the seats out, but because of the demand, they're putting more seats out.
But they won't be like front row. I
No,
don't
they're
They
gonna
won't
be
be
cool
front
seats.
row, but if you think about it, these stadiums have like permanent seating, and then they have bleachers, so these would be intermediately good seats, I would assume. Like in between the current ground floor seats and then the actual hard seats.
Oh.
I'm assuming it would be in the middle because that would make the most sense to me.
Interesting.
Or it could be worse visions, or it could be the like crap like view seats from
That's
really
what
on
I'm
the
thinking.
side. That's the other option.
Didn't you want the Wagyu A5 of like seats over here?
She
like,
wants
top class
VIP
premium?
section 1 or 2, which is
Yeah.
like if one guy does a spin and he's sweating, she might get hit by it. That's how close she wants to be.
Okay, to be honest, it's not
Because
even
they're short.
for
Because they're short.
myself. Yeah,
Isn't that-
I'm short, but so is my sister, and she's really the one pushing for this. This is the AT's agenda that she has. But
Isn't she next year right now?
no, she's
Oh,
not.
okay.
But
Oh,
I
dang.
think just in general, what I've been doing a lot is just looking at a lot of variety stuff on YouTube.
Oh, me
and
too.
one specific channel is Workman.
Oh, Workman. Okay, I love
He's
Workman.
so funny. So this channel is basically I can't remember his name.
Jang
Sungkyu?
Sang Sung-gyu.
Jang Sung-gyu.
Yeah, Sungkyu. He's a comedian. He used to be on.
He's technically
funny.
an announcer, right? And he was under, I think,
Yes.
JTBC, and then he went free agent, so now he's doing whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, he does a lot of crazy stuff. So the basis of the channel is that he goes to work at a specific job. It could be anything. I think the one that I saw a lot was where he worked at a amusement park.
I've seen that one.
That was the
Yeah.
best episode.
Yeah, it was really good. But basically, he just goes and does the job of what a typical person would do there, and then he gets paid. And I don't know, it's really funny. It's really the captions and the editing add a lot to it. So if you can read Korean, at least it's very funny.
Some of them have subs. Some of
they
it
do,
does.
Yeah, a lot of them are subbed. But even if you don't have subs,
You can
like,
get
it's,
what's
it's
funny.
still funny. But yes, I've been watching a lot of that. What else have I been doing? I don't know. I feel like
Do you watch What's Up Man with?
I have
Junyoung?
not. I feel
So
like you
he's-
should.
It's Junhyung from
God.
God, which is
Yeah.
another he's a Gen 1. He's a really old man. He's like in his 50s, I think, at this point.
He's really
40s,
funny.
he's in his
too.
40s. So he's like a Korean American who's really Korean American in California, and he just does like Korean stuff, and his Korean's hilarious.
The thing is, like, here's the thing. If I had to pick the 3 funniest YouTube channels in Korea right now, it would be Sang Sung-gyu's Workman, which apparently he's picking a new member. They're getting a new member on, by the way.
What?
Did you guys know that?
No,
Ooh.
They're expanding so that we get 2 episodes a week, and then
That's
one
cool.
is still with Sang Sung-gyu, and the other is with a female member we don't know who yet.
Okay.
So that's the funniest in my opinion. And then that What's Up Man, and then there's another one called Yongjin-ho's Monstrous Date, Guerrilla Date.
Yongjin, oh my goodness.
Man, guys.
I've
He's
never
like
heard of
a
the third
he's
one.
like a how do I describe him? He's a comedian.
Those two are comedians, yeah.
He's not that good looking, and he's a pretty big guy. And he am I thinking about the wrong guy?
He has a pretty good following, like female fans for his look.
All right, continue talking
Yongjin
more.
and Ijino, those two.
Oh,
Well, Yongjin has
okay.
a lot of female fans. But anyways, it's two comedians who perform a lot on Comedy Big League. Yongjin was on the end of last season of One Day
I'm thinking about the wrong guy. Continue.
Okay. That one is also really hilarious. So if you like the first two, you will probably like the third one, which is like a talk show where it's basically a talk show, and the two of them are co-hosts, and they bring on a guest, and they do a date, and they ask very nice questions, very kind questions.
Are they awkward questions on purpose? Sometimes.
It's like stuff like oh, like, oh, dog, I heard there was rumors of a rumor going around that people saw you like drunk texting people while like 4 a.m. BS like that. It's obviously not funny
Interesting.
because I'm not a comedian, like, right? But like,
But they're just trolling and it's hilarious.
it's just they're trolling. They ask a serious question. They're like, "What made you sad?" And then they make jokes about that, and it's like, it comes off in a very not mean way.
Okay.
Mm.
That
go
makes
check that
sense. Yeah, on Variety, I've been watching specifically catching up on Running Man, which is okay, I would say. Il One Day Two Nights, which came back with the new season. That's okay. The real winner right now, it's still I Live Alone, 나 혼자 산다. That show's still like, in terms of the generic TV variety shows, it's probably like the funniest one right now.
Journey to the West is over though.
I know, because it's over. And also Park Na-rae, who's one of the main hosts right now of 나 혼자 산다, won the Daesang this year,
Yeah,
which she
yeah.
completely deserved
Heard.
based on the field.
Deserved it.
So those are the variety things I've been watching. We're running really late, guys.
Oh, dear.
Like pre-edit. Okay, of course you guys know we edit some things when we make big mistakes. I think this episode's gonna end up being like 143, 145.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
dear.
we're like a movie length now.
You know the good thing is we've
Movie.
decided not to record two things in one day on the recording day. That is clearly like the reason we can do this now, because we used to have like 2 hour long recording session or 2 hour and a half recording sessions back to back.
Oh, back when we were doing Queendom and like Produce and
Yeah,
like,
let's not do that. If we're gonna record a second thing, let's do it on a different day, guys.
I'm
I
down.
agree.
I
It makes
agree.
so much more sense because, and also we've gotten better at this, so it's easier, and we don't like expend as much energy as we used. Like we're still, I hope we're still funny, but we're not like nervous. And you know how when you're nervous, you expend energy, that kind of
Oh
thing.
man, I don't know. I'm like shivering every time before we record,
Sweating?
like sweating. Like I'm like,
Bro, it still takes me about 6 tries to record the intro.
Oh,
I mean, at least
no.
you got it in 6 takes, dude. Remember the intros I did like when you were in Korea?
Yeah.
So I like recorded the first one for like an hour.
Here's the funniest thing. When I try to do an unboxing, I can't do a true unboxing because I can't record it in one take.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, you fake.
It's not that fake. I have to I take the first time I record, I like do the knife, take the packaging off, open
Right,
the
right.
box. I can't. Like it takes
the thing.
multiple tries.
Here's the thing. I tried to make a YouTube video while we were on break. It was one of those days where like I was not going to work because it was holiday season, and I was like bored, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a YouTube video. I'm gonna talk about my five top K-pop albums of the year. Something I can talk about forever.
You couldn't.
I do, man. It's difficult, man.
So I also like these opening videos. Doug's K-pop collection is a cringy title, but whatever.
Douglas.
I had never liked we have never like recorded stuff just by ourselves other than me doing the intro. Nothing is by ourselves. It is a whole nother monster which we are slowly learning. It is tough. Like you have to balance how much should you talk, how much should you be quiet. Like, is there too much talking? Sometimes, like, I had to edit out. My head randomly appeared, and you were like looking up my ear at one point. It was a mess.
I want to see that.
No, if there's a cut, you know why, because something weird happened. But Yeah, the aim, because like my overhead thing is here, and I'm trying to like move my hands here in front of me, and then I had to move my head, and then all of a sudden you were looking up my ear, and I was like, this is weird. So that happened.
But here's the thing: we're not gonna just stay with doing podcasts. We want to do bigger things. We want to do better things. We're gonna get bigger. We're gonna get better. We're gonna be number one. I don't know about number one actually, but
it's all because of you guys at home who are supporting us.
Y'all lovely people out there.
We are making the content for you, and you are the ones who is making the content better over time, because it is putting the pressure on us too. But this has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. This is, I think, our longest episode ever, but it doesn't feel that long because it's been a great time overall. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me. We don't do the PSA at the end anymore because no one sticks around this far.
Why are you still listening? Go listen to last week's episode. That was also good.
And watch the opening videos that I'm going to have. But we will see you all next week with episode 70.
We're going to play the intro music again now. Don't listen to it. Go listen.